Lucy, my doctor does not believe health shifts that I've had by just looking at emotions thing going on at the moment. And you're like, did you see that orb? Oh my God, that was so beautiful. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and today is Lucy Davis Live at 5 p.m. UK time. Now, fortunately, I have a one-to-one client at 5 p.m. UK time. So this video has been pre-recorded with lots of excitement and lots of information for you on this beautiful, beautiful Monday. So first and foremost, ladies and gents, I hope this video finds you well. I don't believe I did a video last week because I was actually off on a holiday, believe it or not. It's the first holiday that I've actually taken since 2017. And although I was doing a bit of work, I probably worked 3 days of the 8 that I was away. I actually honoured myself to be like, you know what, stay off of social media, stay off of doing video content, and just do the commitments that I have to do. And my goodness gracious me, ladies and gents, it has been such a game changer. I am excited. I am feeling vibrant. I am full of just magic that I'm willing to create right now. So hopefully this video will go a little bit of a way to helping you understand you a little bit more today. So what I'm going to be talking about today is something that actually came up in a call that I did earlier on this morning. I was going to do it on a completely different topic of growth, and I was chatting to one of the members of Self Love Club, who the program that has literally just finished at the end of last month. And she said to me, Lucy, my doctor does not believe that the only thing that I have done is look at my emotions. She literally does not believe the health shifts that I've had by just looking at emotions. So today, ladies and gents, I am going to be talking to you about your health and how emotions can be impacting you in a significant way. So don't leave anywhere because I'm just going to talk about a couple of other things first. If you are interested in how you can master your health, how you can master yourself even better, please do stick around. So I am actually running the first in-person, very intimate breath meditation and healing session on Friday of this week. To say I am pumped is an absolute understatement. I am getting a small group of people together to go on a really beautiful journey in readiness for solstice and setting the tone of what that is going to look and feel like for 2025. Now, if you are like, how did I miss this? You know, one of my best friends said to me yesterday, how did I miss this? How have I not got a ticket for this? But we literally have no more space. I can't even cheekily squeeze someone in. There is going to be another one in July. I am currently looking to lock down a date so that I can get that organised. However, please, 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 the best way for you guys to find out what is going on with myself, with my events, with the courses, with the programs, you know, how you can attend certain things, how you can work one-to-one with me or any of my coaches. The best way to hear about that is via my Weekly Woo newsletter. Now, I am extremely respectful in regards to email communication. I will only send out an email once a week, which is my weekly newsletter. Unless you're on one of my programs, then you get more emails than that. Every now and again, like a couple of weeks ago, we had a notification there was going to be a system outage. So I sent an email to let people know that if they tried to access their courses, etc., etc. But other than that, we do try to be, we do our best to be respectful and just send you once a week. Now, in this newsletter, you will get a personal statement from me. It's basically what's going on in the world, what's happening in life, you know, and some pearls of wisdom. Then there is a section on energy, and that is around the energies that are taking place at the moment. What's happening? How's the moon looking? You know, what's the monthly energy? Also, I share the video content that I do, so the YouTube. I also make suggestions. People often say to me, Lucy, What do you take for your skin to look so good? Lucy, how have you got your hair to grow like it has? Lucy, where do you get your crystals from? Lucy, what have you done to detox spike proteins, for example? A whole array of things like what's your supplementation, those kind of things. You can find that in my weekly woo. So you don't have to just sit there and think, well, how does she do this? You can actually hear it for yourself via there. I also have a very, very important special section in my weekly woo where I give you the opportunity to email me a question that you would like coaching on, and I respond to that question via the weekly woo. So let's say, for example, you asked a question today. What might happen is in 2 weeks' time, you get the response to your question. It all depends on the backlog, how many questions there are. But this is a beautiful gift and a way for us to be able to give you free coaching without you having to pay the price tag of having a one-to-one session. Now, obviously, it's a question, it's not a whole life story and things like that. So there is only a limit to what you can ask. However, if you've got something going on right now, this is an absolute free service. I encourage you all to go and check that out. Likewise, on my website, www.lucydavis.com, you can have access to a number of different freebies, some ebooks, some different materials that I have produced over the years, and that section is about to get an upgrade. So is the whole website, to be honest with you, as things are evolving in the business. Right. If you like to know how your body communicates, what is going on with you, if you are fascinated by health and healing and emotions, and why do I feel this way? Or why do I have this pain in my right elbow, for example? Or why does my knee do that from time to time? And you're actually like, you've been to the doctor, you've had lots of tests, there isn't anything physical going on. And you're just in a space of like, well, what the heck is going on? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy, but I know that I've got this pain there. This video is going to be for you. For many, many, many years, I was in and out of hospital and to the doctors with chronic digestive issues. And I'm talking chronic. I couldn't go to the toilet for 2 weeks at a time. I would eat certain foods and I would look pregnant. I had this reflux that was extremely painful. Like there was just a number of issues going on from here. I probably should start from here because it was tonsillitis, laryngitis, bronchitis, chest infections, and then into the digestive system. I was constantly at the doctor. Now, let me know in the chat if this resonates with you. You might not be like that now, but were you like that back in the day? Or maybe you've got a bit of a swollen throat thing going on at the moment. Maybe you've got a little bit of a cold going on at the moment. Maybe you've got a bit of a chesty cough thing going on at the moment. And you're like, did you see that orb? Oh my God, that was so beautiful. It's like a little swirly feather or a little swirly angel or something. It was so beautiful. Oh, love that. If ever there was validation for this video, like it's bright sunshine, I've got no idea how that just showed up in this video. Anyway, I digress. My apologies. So if you are somebody that has a bit like me, I used to go to the doctor all the freaking time. I used to, be like, I know that there is something wrong with me. And they'd run all of these tests and no, nothing's shown up. No, nothing's shown up. So they put me in a bucket where my digestion was concerned called IBS. Have you guys heard of that? It's very common these days, isn't it, for people to be diagnosed with IBS. And I have such a fascinating story in this, a journey in this story, because physically I had so many issues going on. The doctor could see that things were backing up, but there was no logical reason for it to be taking place. Likewise, I did have something called Helicobacter pylori, but once that had been cleared, I had no reason to have the issues that I did. So I kind of baffled people, and that's when they put me in this bucket of IBS. Now, since then, I've actually sat on a flight from, I think, London to Egypt or Spain to Egypt or something like that. And I sat next to a specialist, and the specialist doctor, a gastrologist, he he basically sat me down and said, like, because I ended up getting into a discussion with him about this. When I found out who he was, I was like, right, this is brilliant. And he actually said, like, he can understand a lot of what I was talking about with things, but he also had a back argument for it, if you get what I mean, until it came to IBS. And I'm sure I've shared this through my conscious conversation community, which if you would like to join us, we meet every Monday and we have discussions like this. It's really super cool, but it's highly conscious conversations. And I actually said to him, so talk to me about IBS. What's your opinion on IBS? Have you found a fix for IBS? And he said no. And I said to him, he was actually a specialist in Gibraltar. And he said to me that as much as he could find an argument about everything else with regards to, where they can cut things or move things or shift things or heal things, like in their medical way, with IBS, they've never been able to find anything at all. So he said to me, with your permission, Lucy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take to my clinic the next person that gets diagnosed with IBS. I'm going to take to your clinic your mentality, your theory, and I'm going to see what happens. And about 6 weeks later, I got an email from him saying, Lucy, pretty much the first client when I was back had IBS. She's had 4 conversations with me, and in those 4 conversations over the course of about 4 weeks, she has gone from being in the IBS bucket to being able to eat the foods and being able to process the foods, being able to go to the toilet and have that stuff take place. So, my friends, we have emotional baggage in our bodies. It shows up in different way in different people, and the inspiration, the pure inspiration, I'm not going to give her name because I didn't tell her I was going to do this. It was afterwards I was like, wow, I think this is really cool, but she might well comment and be like, yeah, that was me. The inspiration for this video today came from one of my clients from Self Love Club 2024, and she shared her journey with me this morning, and she had so many breakthroughs and so many things going on, but she had this physical thing. She was diagnosed, or she was diagnosed with being on the way to chronic liver disease. So for a long time, she'd had liver issues, very high readings, and there was concern. But just before she started the program, she had these tests and it was sky high, and they warned her that you are going to go into the chronic liver disease bucket if you're not careful, and it's going to happen quickly. So, about halfway through the program, she had some results. She had some more bloods taken, and the tests had started to come down. And she spoke to me about it, and, you know, where I'd been working with her on her emotions, predominantly her anger, the results had started to show up. And the doctor said to her, what have you been doing in this period of time? Like, tell me what you've been doing, because she was healthy. She used to exercise, drink the water, take the supplements, all of those things. She was healthy, like slim, no overweight, anything like that. Um, the doctor asked because the doctor had accused her of drinking too much alcohol. The doctor had accused her of, eating the wrong foods and things like that, because she couldn't quite get her head around why the liver was like this. So over the months, obviously, we were working on her emotions. This result took place. The doctor said, hey, like, what are you doing? And when she said, the only thing that I've changed in my life is that I've joined Self Love Club and I'm working on my emotional well-being, the doctor was like, nah, I can't believe that. Can't believe it. Like, I hear you, but I can't believe it. Roll forwards to the end of the program. The program's a 9-month program. The results came back below neutrality. So her liver issues have completely reversed, and they are better than anybody could have expected, or anybody that would, they were better than the levels that they should be for her age and everything else. But something that she only shared with me today was that or I knew about this, but there were little pockets on her liver. And I had told her that they were her pockets of anger. She's just had results back. They've all gone. That was my inspiration today to talk to you here on this topic. Ladies and gents, we take for granted this beautiful physical human vessel that we have. We feel that we can abuse it and it's going to be okay. It's going to keep doing its thing. We feel that we can put it through whatever we want to put it through. We can push it through the alcohol. We can give it the poison of the alcohol and the sugar and things like that. We can force it to do absolutely anything and it's just going to be okay. We can suffer the heartbreak. We can have our parents divorce and, leave us and, be abused and things like that. And we just get over it. The thing is our body has emotional memory. And our emotional memory stores even when we may have thought or we may have felt that we've moved past it. Now, it's quite interesting this morning that my client shared about her liver because the digestive system is predominantly occupied by resentment, hurt, shame, and anger. Now, you may be sat there going, well, I know I'm angry and I don't have any digestive issues. It could well be showing up in other areas of your body, dependent on what the anger source is, like what the emotion is behind the anger. So, I've been speaking about this a bit. I don't know whether it's been on YouTube or on my Instagram or account or my Facebook account. I'm not too sure. But recently I've been talking about anger is the output. What is the emotion behind what creates the anger? So, a lot of us girls, we get angry when we do not feel safe, when we feel emotionally attacked or unsafe. That is where we will go rather than be like, oh my God, I feel really unsafe right now and I just need some support and I just need some love and please can you just hold me and tell me that you love me and that you're not going to leave me or whatever the situation is or you're not going to attack me. We rise up and we skip past the vulnerable bit and we go straight into warrior mode and we attack. We get on the defensive. We feel like we have to step into fight or flight mode. Now, I'm not taking away from the fact that this is a choice, ladies and gents. We choose to not be vulnerable. We can just as easily choose to drop into our loving energy in our heart and be vulnerable and share so that the anger doesn't explode. However, if you have learnt through your childhood that, putting this protective barrier up and blocking it out is the way for you to go, then I would imagine that anger actually surfaces in this. So, every emotion that you have ever been through from birth is stored somewhere in your physical vessel. Let's talk about fibromyalgia for a moment. Fibromyalgia is a perfect example of how the body communicates. Fibromyalgia is 100% premised on the person feeling in so much pain from whatever it is that's gone on in their life, whether their mother left them, whether they've had heartbreak from their divorce, or maybe they've lost their mojo, or maybe they had an accident or something like that, that was like the catalyst for them to go, I'm in so much pain. I am in so much pain. Wow. Like it's like a victim mentality of I'm harboring all of this. The physical vessel, after a period of time, will give you what you ask for or what you believe. So if you truly believe that you are in a level of pain that nobody else has ever experienced, and you're the only one that gets it and nobody gets me, you will manifest the dis-ease that is known as fibromyalgia in your physical vessel. Now, I'm not making light of these things. I just want to make that very, very clear. I am not making light of it. Emotional trauma, emotional baggage, Resistance is often more tricky to work with and to step through than something physical. Because when something physical happens, we can have a plaster cast put on our arm, or the bruises will eventually go. However, these emotions are pesky little things. Our emotions are very deeply rooted in us, and they only show up when we have something that triggers that emotion again. It might be a completely different situation, and this is the beautiful gift of the healing journey. We think this is a very different situation, but actually, it's compounding the emotion you felt when you were abandoned, or it's compounding the emotion that you felt when you were rejected, or it's compounding the emotion that you felt when your mum sadly passed, or whatever the situation was in your life. And I think I might have done a reel on this recently, or a carousel or something like that. But emotions and what I call trauma, or you might call resistance or something like that, it's, I'm talking about quite big things right now, your mother passing or going through a divorce. Like they're quite big, self-explanatory reasons why people might step into trauma, why they might actually create emotions in their body. But it isn't just like that. Being ignored creates a trauma response. Being told, shh, 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 creates a trauma response. Nobody listening to you, nobody seeing you, nobody loving you. It's not a massive, painful thing, but it's a consistent action that you have to learn to cope without. If you know that you cannot call out to one of your parents to be held, to be loved, to be heard, to be seen, you learn to self regulate. And that self regulation is how the emotions end up building in the body. Now, I work with hundreds and hundreds of people around the world that are in such a level of delusion. They're like, no, I dealt with that years ago, Lucy. No, I dealt with it. I've got my head around it. Like, I don't like it, but I've dealt with it. But their physical bodies show differently. Their physical bodies, whether their metabolism is too fast, whether their metabolism is too slow, whether their hair falls out, whether they're, all of these things are compacted by emotion. I know so many, and I'm not going to dig at the men here, but I know so many men particularly that are not willing to look at the emotions that have been created because, well, I'm over it. That's when I was younger, like I'm over it. But actually, what they don't realize is that when a woman then says, I'm feeling like this, they then take it as criticism. And we're basically bringing healing to each other's wounds constantly. If you stop and think about every relationship that you've ever been in, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's with your parents, that has come to blows at some point, one or the other of you would have been triggered by something that one of you would have said. And what happens is, or what they did, and what happens is that trigger takes you, it might be a completely different story, but it takes you back to the place where you felt left. It takes you back to the place where you couldn't communicate effectively. It takes you back to the place where you had to become hard and not vulnerable. It takes you back to the place whereby you had to fight and or run. There's no judgment with this. Absolutely none whatsoever. The physical body is purely a gift that shows you where you are holding on to stuff. Now, my mission is to make this stuff the absolute norm. Literally link the emotional trauma to the parts of the body so absolutely everybody can know. And I've got a great testimonial of this actually. So over the weekend, I was with somebody and they were saying to me they had a bit of back pain, lower back pain. And she was very clear, well, it's because I'm not getting this and I'm not getting that and I'm not getting that. And I said, actually, have you considered that it might be something different? You know? And she's like, oh, okay, I'm open, I'm listening. And when I spoke to her about it, she got the memo. The next day, she woke up, it had gone. She'd filled her cup up. She'd been around so much love, so much powerful energy. Like where I was at the weekend was super freaking powerful. Grateful to all of you girls. If any of you are watching this, I love you all so, so much. But she had been open to a different perspective. And yes, there was lots of different things that had happened and stuff the previous day and whatever. But that memo just landing inside of her as to what that would could possibly mean gave her the opportunity to be able to shift it. So you know what? She did, because she's a brave, beautiful soul that knows she deserves better than to have bad back. If you can recognize, I even go to this extreme and people laugh at me for it. If you get bitten by a mosquito, look at the place where you were bitten by the mosquito. Even that shows you where your emotional trauma is. And many of my friends, hopefully some of them will comment on here, but I can be out running and be like, wow, like I've got a bit of a funny thing going on there. And I will literally communicate with it and be like, hey, this is your perception. This is not the reality. And boom, it's gone. Likewise, I've walked into doors or whatever before, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting that I had to be bruised in that area. And I literally go there and I reassure myself and look at the emotions, what's been brought up. And I don't mean the emotion of banging my elbow, because that's absolutely irrelevant, you know. And I'm sure some of you are there going, Lucy, everybody bangs their elbows at times. Everybody gets a bruise from time to time. Absolutely. But it's a message from your body to get your attention to say, hey, are you sure you have checked in on this emotion recently? Are you sure you're absolutely regulating yourself in the way that you need to be regulating yourself? And this, my friends, is the gold. Imagine the world that you could live in where you knew legitimately that when you got a bit of a sore head, that it wasn't the water or whatever, that actually there was something that was kind of misfiring in your system. Of course, water is very important, ladies and gents. Please don't say that. Please don't think that I'm not telling you to drink enough water. You absolutely should. What about the lady at the weekend? If you knew when your lower back hurt that it was to do with finances and your perception that you are not being supported financially, or that there is worry financially, or that maybe there's this vibration of lack in your body. Imagine, imagine if, God forbid, one of your family members or somebody that you love and you care about has a heart attack and they survive it. Imagine the gift that you could give them by sharing that the heart, when it isn't truly deeply in love, it's been restricted. Maybe they didn't receive love as a child. Maybe they felt love was going to hurt. That's what happens with a heart attack. It's a perception of not receiving or giving love. Now imagine on a level whereby anything that comes up for you, your nails breaking, you breaking a bone, like whatever's going on, your liver having issues, your colon having things go on, your bladder, whatever. Like, just imagine, the number of people that come to me and they're like, oh, Lucy, I've got another UTI. And I'm like, okay, so who do you feel's taking the piss out of you? Ah, oh yeah, you're right. That has been happening. We've been taught UTIs where you must be having too much sex or not enough sex or sleeping with too many people or you've been in an area that you shouldn't have been in or you've got this or you've got that. Like there's always an excuse, there's always a reason. How about looking at the emotional side of it? Now, I'm not saying don't look at the physical side of it, but look at the emotional side of it as well. Imagine being able to sit down with your doctor like I did. Hey, The tumours that were in my womb, they've now gone because I've stopped being angry towards my dad for cheating on my mum. I've now stopped being angry and, at myself for being promiscuous when I was younger. I've now recognized that there was a level of shame and there was a level of guilt and there was a level of hurt. Imagine that conversation with your doctor and they'll think you're batshit. But it doesn't matter because you've got the result. And this seems to be the piece of the puzzle that we're missing. It doesn't matter what other people think. What matters is us living our best life, being completely in alignment with who we were always intended to be, and knowing that if we can master ourselves, we can achieve anything. And that includes healing the whole physical vessel. What a gift we can give this world. I'm sure every single one of my followers are like, we need new medical systems, we need new educational systems. Ladies and gents, two could be resolved by this one thing. If we could look at ourselves truly, deeply, rawly, openly, imagine the shifts that would take place in all of the areas. Now, I do believe there is a place for medicine, and I do think that that I should say this. I do believe there is a place for medicine. If somebody is injured or has had an accident or something, absolutely get yourself there. Get the help that you need. However, when it comes to, disease, I would look at it two-faceted. I would look at it, one, on the physical, understand that, get the information on that, but on the other side, look at the emotions. What emotions have you been holding on to that have generated your body to be a beautiful gift and a beautiful messenger to you to say, hey, Lucy, please stop and just take a look at yourself. There are so many people out there that truly believe that they've mastered themselves because they go to the gym, they do a bit of meditation, they do the walks, drink the water, and eat healthy. But unless you are willing to sit with yourself and really feel into yourself and allow yourself to feel what you have felt in the past, this journey of stepping forwards into a beautiful space of connectedness and having those relationships that you deserve. There is a reason you get feisty with your partner and it's emotion based. There is a reason you want to be right all the time. It's emotion based. There is a reason you cut people off and run away. It's emotion based. So imagine mastering your emotions to create the life of your wildest dreams, to create the impact that you can have within your family unit, to be able to create the abundance and the purpose and the career that you've always dreamt of, but also have your health 100% on point. That's the journey that I went on that created Self Love Club, which is the irony of this video because I was not willing to sit with my emotions and then I was forced to sit with my emotions and then I had to sit with them for a number of years and then I created this amazing program that was channeled from God. Like it was my 100% intuition, but it was intuition from there. I just listened. I listened and I paid attention and I did everything that I knew that I had to do. I created this amazing program. And today, when I was going to be talking on a completely different subject around spiritual growth, today, one of last year's participants shared this journey. And I was like, you know what? That's the topic that we need to talk about. What a gift. Let me know if this on any level resonates with you. If you are somebody who's like, this is all great, Lucy, but I need to know how to fix it. I need to know how to deal with this. If you want to get the results with your liver, or if you want to get results with anything else that's going on, losing weight or whatever, pop a comment on here or go to the description of this video and click on the Self Love Club waiting list for 2025. It starts in September. We do a launch call on the 8th of September and then it's go time. If you would like to understand and really, really, really learn how you can work with you and understand what emotions are in your body, where they are trapped, how they are showing up, what limitations it's given to you, and free yourself from it all and go on to soar, my friends, click that link as if your life depends on it. Because in all honesty, it does. Ladies and gents, I will be back with you live next week, and I am so excited. If there's a topic you would like me to cover, please do drop a note to supportlucydavis.com or pop a comment on here, and I will be back with you next week. I truly hope that you found this content useful. Please do remember to hit the thumbs up button if you liked it, share it with all of your communities if they need this message today, and do hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you know when the next content comes out. Ladies and gents, I will see you next week. Lots of love.